Welcome to Fortune Cookies Tarot, your ultimate destination for celebrity tarot readings. I'm Annabelle, tarot practitioner for over 35 years. And in this video, we're going to take a look at the lives of our favorite stars through the cards. Please remember that all of my readings are for entertainment purposes only, and they are my own psychic downloads and psychic reflections. And you should always do your own research before making decisions. So also during the month of October, you can get 10% off all of my private readings and parties. There's a link in the description below and on my website. If you have any questions, you can email me at fortunecookiestarot@gmail.com. Website is fortunecookiestarot.com. So this video, we are going to take a look at Tori Spelling and Dean McDermott, her soon-to-be ex-husband. They are currently separated. Tori Spelling, for those of you who are not of an age, she was the son of Aaron Spelling, who was a producer for all of the shows of my childhood. Fantasy Island, one of my favorite shows, Love Boat, a bazillion other. I'm just going to list those two. But 90210, Melrose Place, the big wigs of the 90s, the big evening soap operas of the 90s. He was in charge of those as well. Tori was an actress on the show 90210. She played Donna Martin. Donna Graduates. It was, it was an okay show. I did watch it. My ex-husband, I'm sorry, I got a big chunk of hair sticking out now. My ex-husband was a huge fan of it. I just wasn't into the whole, Beverly Hills rich kid thing. I grew up I went to high school in two fairly affluent towns, and so I didn't think very much of people like that. So there's that. I have my own opinions about that. But so recently, Dean McDermott, her estranged husband, I guess we'll call him estranged, was seen with another woman. She does have a name, but it's neither here nor there. She's a senior account executive for some organization. But they were holding hands going into a public service office. So apparently he is applying for some public assistance in California. Tori, in the meantime, he had back up. He had also tweeted out that they were getting divorced, I think in June or July, and it was much to her surprise. They have 5 children together. Tori had been previously married, as had Dean. She was married to, I believe he was a producer as well, with her parents' consent. That marriage broke up. It seemed like there was a little overlap on the Dean McDermott thing. So Dean is Canadian, and he was married to someone else, and it seemed like there's a bit of overlap on that relationship as well. And now they have been, I guess they've been together about 17 years, I think. And they have 5 children. Varying ages. I think the youngest is like 6 or something like that, and the oldest is 16. They were in a home. I am not sure if they owned it or if they were renting it. They've had many, many, many financial struggles. The home has allegedly toxic mold in it. When we purchased our home, we did have a mold situation that we did have to have remediated. It is not inexpensive. We did do it because we love the house so much. But if you don't pay attention to it, if you don't maintain vigilance for that, mold can take over a whole house. It's a very serious issue. There are different types of mold. You can get shower mold, but there is a black toxic mold. If you follow any of the abandoned home channels, you'll see a lot of the time they go into these abandoned homes and they're chock full of this toxic black mold. When it takes over to a certain extent, the house is done. You have to just get rid of the house. So allegedly, this house has toxic black mold in it. They're not having a lot of success. Tori also there's a lot to unpack here. She had also messaged her real estate agent about it, and the real estate agent had asked her to verify her identity, thinking that it was possibly someone pretending to be her, because that does happen. It does happen. It just happened to Paul, the fitness hutch, the other day. Somebody created a dupe account, then said they were him. So, with celebrities, it does happen. It does happen. So, she is now living in an RV. She was living in a very inexpensive $100 a night hotel, and she's living in an RV with these children at last count. Dean is sharing a small home with 5 other gentlemen and apparently applying for assistance. So the crux of this whole situation is Tori Spelling grew up in a certain manner. Her father was wildly successful, and their home was at one point the most expensive home in Los Angeles, or the largest home in Los Angeles, one or the other. It was a huge home. A race car driver's daughter had purchased it offered. There was a gift wrap room. There was a doll collecting room. I can't say much. My parents had a gift wrap room, but it was small. It was a closet. It wasn't like they didn't have like a room full of gifts. But they had a small gift wrap room that had like a big roll of wrapping paper. So it was easy to take care of Christmas. So but nonetheless, so a lot of financial issues with them. She did not inherit very much money from her father when he passed away. Her mother was staunchly not going to help support. I think that that was something that her mother decided. Her brother also, she has a brother, and her brother got the same inheritance. No word on how he is in the world, but let's take a look. I mean, Tori is saying things in the press. See if we can get them out of this situation. That the toxic mold was killing them. That's not a joke. It actually can. It can cause some very, very serious issues, especially with younger children. So, and older people with compromised immunity, those sorts of things. So, let's see how Tori is feeling right now. I have a feeling it's going to be a long reading. There's a lot to unpack. Let's see how Tori is feeling. What is her situation at the moment? Seven of Cups, King of Buttons in reverse, 10 of Matches in reverse, Hangman, Strength. So we're absolutely seeing a lot of regret. That 10 of Buttons, when we are talking about financial situations, the buttons, the coins are actual coins. That's what we're talking about here. And I'm sorry, we're a little bit crooked. We're just going to take you on a little wild ride for a second. There we go. Mr. Toad's wild ride has calmed down. So having the King of Buttons in reverse, she's really out of money at this point. The Seven of Cups, though, is our first energy here, and that really says that she doesn't really understand the situation, how she got there. There's a lot of things coming at her. It's like that asteroid game, the old game, where everything is just kind of coming at you from a lot of different angles, and she cannot get that back to where she needs to. The King of Buttons in reverse too, there's very little opportunity for her to work, and that's echoed by that Queen of Swords or Needles in this deck in reverse as well. So it becomes very problematic. 10 of Matches, unfortunately, I think she is very, very kind of out of options at this point. I think she's out of creativity. She's not sure where to go. Under the surface, she is remaining hopeful with this Knight of Cups, and she is reaching out to people. I don't know if she's appealing to her mother. Let's take a look. Is she appealing to Candy for support? Candy is the magic maker here. Two of Cups and the Queen of Cups. I think she is reaching out to her mother to try and get the situation in hand. I think having Dean leave and leave her with these kids is notable and a call for support. She does have a lot of kids. So the Hangman is in here as well. This Hangman is showing us, and he is upright, showing us that she understands the folly of her way, where she went wrong in life. She does understand that. And the Strength card, she's hoping that other people are going to see that as well. Let's get an Oracle card for her. see if this mommy thing is the right thing to do. Memory and form right here. So that is, oh, it's also got an octopus on it. Love octopus. Love that. So in our house, we have an octopus in every room. It's like Disney World with little Mickey. You have to find the octopus in every room. So we've got one in every room. Just a fun little fact at my house. So memory and form. She really needs to demonstrate to Candy Spelling, her mother, that she is going to be able to right the ship. I think she is appealing to her for care and help. Emotionally, she's appealing to her now, but that care and help is going to come in the form of money eventually. That's really what we're going to need there. So let's put this back. What does Tori need to do to correct this relationship with her mother? And I've got the universe in reverse. Now remember, that is, we're using the Madame Clara 5-cent tarot. And this is an additional card. This is a 24th card for the deck. You can see that 24 up at the top. Infinite growth when we get into the universe, but when we're in reverse, it's decadence. So there's going to be some hell to pay for the former decadence, for those former maneuvers. But what do we have to do to correct this situation between mother and daughter, Candy and Tori? What do we need to do to correct this? Hangman, Tori has got to come to terms with her past behavior that got them into this situation, and that would be the financial behavior. The 10 of matches, I think she's really not in a good place mentally, emotionally. I think she's really not in a good place. And I think her mother's going to recognize that and step in and give her a hand. You can only punish someone for some foolish moves that they've made for so long. You can't sustain that punishment. It's not really fair to her, especially if she has children now and the whole family is in need. So it really, I think Candy is going to make the right moves, but I think Tori really is suffering at this point mentally. I think she really is very, very distraught over the situation. And this is a gradual situation. It wasn't like she went from the most amazing house in Los Angeles to an RV. She had some steps in between there. I think, the crux of the situation, the difficulty between mother and daughter is this: the Queen of Cups and the 8 of Buttons and that 4 of Needles. So this is the crux of the situation. And I do believe that there were some problems with Tori leaving the other marriage and hooking up with Dean. I think they were not in agreement with that. I think because he had he was married, he had a wife had children with the wife. I think they were very disappointed at how that went down. And I think that they liked their former son-in-law. I can't remember his name, but doesn't matter because we're not talking about him. So I think the idea of her being so enthusiastic about a relationship that was outside the confines of her first marriage, I think the mother was very judgmental about that. I think she really didn't feel that that was the right thing to do. She shouldn't have stepped out on her marriage like that. And that she really should have looked back and looked at the whole picture versus the just getting to know this, I don't know, good. I guess she thought he was good looking Canadian actor, getting into a situation with someone who is also an actor. So, the idea of this is the, how you get him, how you lose them. I feel like Candy had given that advice. How you get him is how you lose them. You shouldn't be doing this. You should work on your marriage. You should keep your marriage intact. And the 4 of Needles, she just went to sleep and just didn't pay any attention to her mother's advisement. So that's unfortunate. I'm going to put those back in and just give a little shuffle. Again, this is the Madame Clara 5-cent tarot. Love this deck. I don't use this deck enough. I don't know if it shows up clear enough on the channel. It's really a great deck. Really very, very pretty. So dominant energy is that 9 of buttons in reverse, being left out in the cold. You know, the message that Candy was sending to Tori was, you're a spoiled brat, and I'm going to make you see what it's like. I'm going to make you see what it's like. I don't think there was greed on the part of Candy. I think she really was, your father wanted you to have this amount of money, small amount of money, because he wanted you to stand up and work on your own and do what you needed to do. You know, we didn't want you to be constantly fed from the font of Spelling Enterprises money. Now, all I want to do is watch Fantasy Island for the rest of the day. So this 9 of Pentacles, 9 of buttons in reverse, was really putting her out there and letting her expose herself. And now she's further going to let her expose herself in Hollywood. My child, it's almost like Candy is like, my child, like people that go to Al-Anon meetings, they said, you know, my addict, and they tell the whole story. It's almost like she's going into Hollywood and she's like, well, my child was just such a disaster. Like, this is going to be the story she tells at lunchtime. Not really bragging, but it's almost like she's baffled at how this happened when there was so much opportunity there and so much had already been given to her. They kind of put her on rails for success, and she just didn't follow the rails to get there. So under the surface, they have to be horrifyingly honest with each other. There's a level of honesty here that is going to be painful and should have at least 3 other professionals in the room. I just think that the therapy sessions that need to be had are going to be very, very difficult. Again, we've got this, you know, mental instability here. This 10 of matches, really at a loss for how to proceed, how to move forward. And the 2 of matches, again, this is indecision, how to proceed. Eventually, they're going to come together, but I think that the relationship will always clash. I think we will always have this, the 2 of needles, 2 of swords here, a dueling kind of relationship between the 2 of them, a very push and pull between mother and daughter. Oracle card, let's grab one of the 2 penny oracles. What's the main thing that they need to do to heal this relationship? It's the main thing they have to do. What is going on with this sloppy shuffle? Main thing that they have to do. We're going to pull one card. Cautiousness. They have to proceed with cautiousness. So they have to be very careful with each other. I think both of them are not very trusting of the other person, just because of water under the bridge and things that have happened. So I think that trust needs to be rebuilt. I think it needs to be rebuilt with a professional in the room. And I think that they need to proceed as best they can. I'm just going to move this up a little bit more so that we can get some more real estate here. So now let's take a look at Dean. Dean McDermott. Dean McDermott. So, and I always think of this age group as like the second wave of divorces. So when I initially got married when I was, I guess, 27. First time I got married, I was 27. And there was always that wave in our friend set, that first wave of divorces that went through everybody that got married in haste and, you know, kind of moved forward. I probably fell in that category. Then there's the second wave of divorces that happen after children and after, you know, a notable time in the relationship, and people will start to split up. You know, we're seeing that with some people that we know right now that are splitting up a little bit later into the marriage, and it's very sad. So let's see. This is going to be Dean's second divorce with children. What is he thinking? Where is that guy at? Two of matches. Oh boy. Nine of needles. Temperance. Empress. Five of needles. Three of cups in reverse. Oh, he is not having any fun right now. Really not having a good time. So the two of matches, he doesn't have any prospects. He does not have anything that he could do to make money, go to work. He doesn't have any way to salvage the situation that he's in right now, the life that he's in. We'll look at it in a much bigger picture. And the Nine of Needles, the anxiety was crushing at one point, but he seems with this Temperance card to have alleviated some of it with the assistance of this new woman in his life. Now, the new woman in his life, and we're going to take a few more cards just to look at her. I know I didn't note her name, but what is her objective? Ooh. So I'm going to say it. I think that there's a little bit of a weird situation going on here. I think she is looking at an end game here. I think there is a new beginning here. She is very critical of Tori. She's very critical of the situation that Tori got Dean into. That's really the theme here. He was a great guy. All he wanted to do was love her. All he wanted to do was be a good dad. And things went south. So this new gal is going to be the catalyst of a lot of drama here. Are we going to hear about it? I don't know. I don't know if there's that much interest in it, but I do think that she is trying to pick up the pieces of Dean McDermott and help him move on with his life. Good Lord. So the Chariot card, he is not moving ahead. The Three of Cups, not having a good time, very embarrassed, very upset about this. This is a life in reverse. He is going completely in reverse. So we're going to have to take a look at this relationship with the gal. And let me just go over here and get her name. I want to get her name. Let me get her name. So, so he did publicly admit that he cheated on her in 2014. So he's a great guy. He is terrific. So who is news? Holding hands with new woman. Lily Callow. So we've got Dean and Tori Spelling have children 16, 15, 11, 10, and 6. So yes, Lily Callow. She's very pretty. Has a cute little cropped haircut. Wearing a jumpsuit. Not everybody can wear a jumpsuit. So yeah, Dean McDermott seen with new girlfriend in line at LA welfare office. So that is something else. So let's take a look at their relationship. Let's just see what that's all about. What is her motivation? Lily Callow. What's her motivation in this relationship? Queen of Needles. Ooh, she's a little bit of a ish stir. Let me get that out of here. I can see what I'm doing. And then the Four of Cups, Page of Needles, Devil in reverse. And Beyond. That's another special card for this deck. Go right to the Beyond. This is after the universe. It is the 23rd card in the series, and it is in reverse here. So we have the Queen of Needles, who is a Queen of Lies. This is someone who these are people that are crafting a story together, stitching, if you will, with the needles here. So crafting a story together. Four of Cups to manifest. When we get that Four of Cups in reverse, sometimes that is going full bore for manifestation. Page of Needles, new start with a new storyline. And detachment is the Devil in reverse. It's a great Devil card. One of my favorite things to do is when I get a new deck, I always go right to the Devil card. My son likes to do that too. When I get a new deck, he wants to see the Devil card. So this detachment, this is to get out of the situation. And then we have the beyond here. So when we get to the beyond, so we get to the world. And then in this deck, we have the universe, which is opening up all possibility. And then when we get to the beyond, that is now where we are making the decisions. We are living out the realm of possibility. So if universe is possibility, the 20, what did I say? I think it's vice versa. But anyway, universe is living out the possibility. Beyond is where now we're taking those actions and we're becoming responsible for what we do beyond that point and moving into the next objective, next lesson, next lifetime. Up here, 10 of matches. I think that this is a pretty intense relationship together. I think that there are objectives. I think they want to move forward together. I think there's a lot of putting our heads together and whispering and telling stories and doing things together. We have the Five of Needles in reverse. That is a very destructive card under the surface down here in the shadow self. That's a very destructive card. So I'm wondering how this is getting put together. If we're shadow self with the Five of Needles to get in reverse to get to this Page of Needles, which is a new start, up to here, the 10 of matches in reverse. That's pretty much to devastate someone, to create another pathway through destroying something. We're going to take one card right from the middle, and we have manipulation. Negligence and manipulation. So I think that kind of says it all. So what are we looking at with Mr. McDermott? I just want to think that like Canadians are so nice and sweet, and they just seem so nice. I'm always shocked when there's a nasty pants Canadian. Oh yeah, always expect them to be so nice. So what does Dean need to do to live his best life? And I'm just going to warn you guys, it seems a little shady, so we might get the pathway for them to create this destruction. Ten of matches, Queen of Needles. Ooh, say it loud, say it proud. Eight of Cups, living your best life. So if we were to read this, if I were to read this and say, this is how Dean and what did I say, Lily Callow, I think that's what her name was, if they want to hit their objectives. So what they'll have to do is run the gamut, run the car out of gas here with this 10 of Wands. Just keep going and then start talking. So this is like empty your pockets, empty your arsenal, empty everything, and then start talking and say, this is where I am. I'm at rock bottom. So I don't know if that is what the pap walk, I shouldn't call it a pap walk. I don't know if it's a pap walk, but he did get papped. outside of the LA welfare office. I don't know if that's what it was. The 8 of Cups is I'm walking away to make my life better. Ace of Matches, I'm going to try and get back into work, back into what I need to do. And the Tower is a full-scale revolution of self. And this is a turtle stack on the Tower card, just so you guys can see it. Little turtle stack. Yay. So I love those turtle stacks. 7 of Cups. Now, possibilities. He has to find thinking outside the box, beyond the box, and not looking backward. The warning here is there are possibilities. There are things that he can do. There is movement forward, but he has to stop being so childish, and he cannot see, it says childishness right there. He has to stop looking at the past and saying that I want to live in the same manner as I lived in the past, because that was not a sustainable lifestyle for him or for them. And now they have to be worried about the kids. Tori, I'm feeling much more intensity toward the children. I'm not feeling it from him. I'm feeling like he's like, oh, okay, well, you guys are all right, right? Like everything's okay. I don't have any money. I can't send you anything. Like, I think it's a lot of excuses. So, Oracle card for him, conscientiousness. He really should be doing more. He should be performing better, performing more as a parent. It shouldn't be this, I'm going to do the bare minimum because I got hard hit by the economy, the divorce, whatever. The house having mold in it, whatnot. So there. No, I don't think he's the greatest person in the world, and I apologize if anyone disagrees with me. So let's take a look at that house real quick. This is just going to be like a little bonus reading. So is the house really full of mold? The house that they vacated, is it really full of mold? King of Cups, they loved it. 3 of Matches, they were not taking care of it. And 6 of Buttons. That 6 of Coin is they're looking for someone to correct this situation now. I think they're looking for insurance to pay for the repairs on it. And typically, like, insurance doesn't really cover the mold aspect. Like that's a tricky insurance situation. There are some policies that have strict advisement that they're not going to cover mold things. It really is a little bit tricky when we get into these moldy situations with homeowners insurance. Not that I've been a homeowners person for a while, but that is a fact. It is very tricky. So I think they loved the house, but they did not take care of it. The maintenance that needed to be done on that house was not done. Now, if there's a landlord involved in that, then that's a whole different situation. But they just didn't do it. Now they're looking for the charity of insurance to take care of it, or the landlord, if there's a landlord, or going after the real estate agents for not finding it, the home inspectors, those kinds of things. But that has to happen like right away. So what do we have here? Misconception. There are misconceptions about ineptitude. Oh, there's also ineptitude. They just didn't take care of the house. There was an expectation that, all things would kind of fall into place. So that's unfortunate. And one last thing, I know I just said one bonus, but here we're going to do another bonus. So Tori had reached out to her real estate agent and then put him on full blast, I guess on Twitter, X, ha, if you are Russian, ha. So the real estate agent asked her to prove her identity, and she was very upset. It was an explicative-laced response, apparently, and now he has advised her, there's a lot of impersonating going on. We just wanted to do that. He has made a public statement. So did he really think, let's ask this, was he just not answering her because she's a lot more work Was he just not answering her? Did he blow her off? I know there's a lot of people in my life that I have had to blow off at times. Was her real estate agent blowing her off? Past. Yeah. Present, future. So yes, and he was very upset by he was not answering her. For what reason? Why was he not answering her? Because it was a lot. Wait, we got a big whale here. Not that she's a whale. There was it was just a lot of work. You know, she's a lot of work. She's one of those people that, you know, she's screaming, she's on the phone, she's upset, she needs help, she needs help, she needs help, she needs somebody to help her. Somebody help, somebody help. So this 9 of Needles, he felt badly about the situation. He was very upset that he didn't answer her, but he did not want to embarrass her or ridicule her, and she kind of went in that direction. So he really was trying to correct a bad situation and really make it so that she didn't look as bad as she wound up looking. So, and this 2 of Matches moving forward into the future, their relationship is not, it's delusionality. The things that she expects him to do are not possible. He cannot execute as she would like. So that's unfortunate. She's, you know, this is a situation where she's like, fix it, fix it, fix it. And he just is not capable of fixing this situation because it's not a situation that can be fixed. So that is unfortunate. So will he be able to get Tori into another house? Is he going to help? We got 1 card, 9 of Buttons. He doesn't, in reverse. He doesn't want to deal with her. I think the situation is she doesn't have any money. You know, she just is not, it's impossible to help her at this point. So I think she really just needs to work with her mom and see if she can right the ship a little bit. So sad story. You know, it's not great. I'm not gloating that there's a marriage breaking up and kids are living in an RV, and it's, you know, it's the reverse Cinderella story. I'm not gloating about that. I think it's very unfortunate. It's very sad. So, you know, I wish them the best of luck. I hope that they can get out of that situation. I hope Candy will help Tori and the grandkids. Dean, he's off on his own, so we're not really worried about him. So, all right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. Remember, 10% off all my private readings for the month. You can hit me up. The links